Hey there, comic book friends and fiends. It's Rob in front of the Great Wall of Comics. It's the holiday season, a magical time where things of wonderment and amazement come about. The Great White North brings us not just this man or the fat man with a white beard, but they bring us both. We get both, the Chris and the Santa.
This is a great way to start this great show. Kudos, Rob. Well
There you
done.
go.
Well done. Well,
Now, I heard that you had to come to this appearance on a reindeer, though.
it's true. It's true. Blitzen wasn't happy about it, but hey, family is family.
Fair enough. Happy holidays, everybody. I'm glad that you could be here with us. Now, obviously, this is in the form of Memorex, as opposed to is it live or is it Memorex? For those of you who are old enough to remember those ad campaigns. But we're happy to have you here nonetheless. I am on the road right now, actually driving from Palm Desert up back to the San Francisco Bay Area. But Chris is hanging out with you guys in the chat because he's more dedicated than I am, I guess.
What the custodian does.
This is a tough thing that we do every year now. I think this is probably the fourth, it's at least the third, if not the fourth year we've done this, where we decide we're going to do this holiday special. We're going to take a look back at our graded comic book acquisitions for this year and show off our top 10 or our 10 favorite or whatever.
Right.
Now, we've established some ground rules on this, and every year we'll fudge them somewhat, but we'll get to that in a moment.
Yeah.
And that is that it's 10 books. They must be graded right now, and we must have acquired the book this year.
Mhm.
So it's not a book that I've had in my collection and I got graded this year.
Right.
And it's not a book that I had bought, graded, and I cracked out and now it's raw or any other weird scenario. So we acquired the book this year and it's graded. And it can't be a book that I acquired this year and it's off at CGC either. That has come back to bite me several times in the past. And then it makes certain books then all of a sudden never get seen on this top 10 list.
Well, that's why people need to watch our other content for stuff that's not allowed to be in this particular show because of the rules that have been established. Check out our other content and you will see way more slabs than what we're going to show right now.
That's fair. Now, this is extremely difficult.
It is.
This top 10, narrowing it down to 10 means I have to eliminate a lot of books because I pick up a handful of books, and this included every single one of my sketch cover books. I mean, because I'm like, do I put a sketch cover above anything? Right? That becomes difficult to think about. There's books like this, Weird Science. It's an atomic age beauty, but it didn't make the list. First appearance of him didn't make the list.
Not him.
All right. This book.
Oh, The Junkie.
Great cover. Neil Adams' Greatness. Didn't make the list.
Rob, I totally get it.
Didn't make the list. And you know what else didn't make the list? This. It was tough not to put this on the list, but I had to bump it. And when I didn't make the list, because I had a copy, a promotional copy, but I didn't have that one. It was ridiculous trying to narrow this down.
And I totally get it, Rob, because I picked up a number of slabs myself this year. And like, for example, this awesome Derek Chew signed Virgin variant of ASM featuring the ladies of Peter's life. I know that you're a Derek Chew fan just as much as what I am. So sadly, it doesn't make the list. And also the greatest Miles Morales story ever told, a 9.8 copy of Empire of the Spider with the theatrical movie cover on this cover A. Sadly, it doesn't make the list either. By the way, this is Miles Morales 38. You should be reading Empire of the Spider, one of the greatest stories ever told around the world of Miles Morales. So yeah, I totally get it. I'm surprised about that Morbius book, though.
It was tough. It was on the early version, that's for sure.
Okay.
But this is the point where now we're going to find out what did make the list. And
all right,
as always, as the guest on my channel, I will give you honors, sir.
Okay.
What is the number 10 book? Not necessarily 10 as in, guys, we should preface this. This is not necessarily the most valuable book, although sometimes that happens to be the case. It's an order of just kind of like, for us, how it fits in importance of our acquisitions to us personally.
Okay. And not that those two books I just showed weren't important, because they are.
Yeah.
It's just these 10 are a little different from the first two for me. Okay, are we gonna let's do this? Let's do this. And
yeah, I guess we could do that, huh?
Yeah. See,
and Chris wanted me to remind you guys, it's not a competition.
It's not a competition. No matter how much of the American bravado is happening, it's not a competition. It's a celebration of us supporting the comic community. It's kind of a competition. Okay, the first book I'm going to show was actually a gift from a guest that's been on this show. And Rob, you are fully aware of Steve the Voice White. Steve, I met up with Steve and also Cliff from Cliff on Comics this past summer for the Retroactive Comics mini-con on Main Street here in Cambridge, Ontario, Canada. Steve surprised me with a book of a television show that I absolutely loved, and that was Battlestar Galactica. He gifted me a 9.4 copy of Battlestar Galactica #1 from 1978. And and I know, Rob, that you have a special place in your heart for BSG just as much as I do. But yeah, a 9.4 copy in the older slab style from CGC. Mm-hmm. So again, shout out to The Voice for gifting me this incredible book. It's gonna stay in a very happy spot in my PC. So that's my 10th.
That's great. Yeah. No, Battlestar Galactica is one of my childhood favorites. Of course, Battlestar Galactica famously was rushed into television production because of the Star Wars franchise. And number 10 for me happens to be this copy of Star Wars Darth Vader Black, White, and Red #1. Now, I've had other copies of this graded, but this one signed by Hayden Christensen. So as a Star Wars fan, for me, getting a book, I have, Darth Maul signed by Ray Park previously. So being able to get Darth Vader signed by Hayden Christensen, it just makes me very happy as a Star Wars fan. And this is just an incredible cover. This is Felipe Massafara cover on this.
Gorgeous cover.
Collectibles, and just, so there we go.
And Rob, the one thing I can say about the Canadian Hayden Christensen, it's so nice to see now that he's actually getting some respect for his performances all these years later for the 2 Star Wars films that he did. And it's nice to see, and that he's now revisited the character a couple times as well.
He's actually getting the opportunity to enjoy himself. Now that the fandom that grew up with him has grown up and been able to replace the voice of us.
Yeah, it's true. But in looking back, though, I thought those his two have aged very well, and the more and more I pay attention to his performances, the more and more I'm dumbfounded by his lightsaber work. He is incredible with the lightsaber. But
most of his the knocks that you can put on him really happened in the second movie, and they weren't really on him. They were on a lot of it. When you go back and you look at some of the lost footage or the footage that was cut, you realize it's a part of the editing process that really ruined a lot of the development, which explains where he was.
But yeah, and just I'm really happy for him that he's got to revisit the character a couple times now, including his performance in Ahsoka, which was excellent because he got to wield the lightsaber again properly.
Hearing rumors he's in the next season too.
Yeah, wonderful. Okay, well, Rob, you know that I am a big "Something Is Killing the Children" fan, and when something is killing the children originally dropped with issue number 1, there was a cover A, which I had graded this year. It came back in a 9.8. Then there was the Jenny Frison cover, which I own as well. But there was the third that I was missing, the Jay Lee cover, where Erica is kind of striking a little bit of a pose, sitting on top of a dragon gargoyle. Well, this spring, I was lucky enough to pick up Something Is Killing the Children, the Jay Lee variant, to complete the trifecta of issue number 1's first printings for Something Is Killing the... Yeah, I'm very, very happy now to have this. There was some negotiations that actually happened with this one, and I was able to hammer it down well below GPA at the time. And Rob, as you know, there's been some new Something Is Killing the Children news about them possibly having an animated film and a television series or movie being done by Blumhouse now, and these books have gone right back up to where they were a little bit after the COVID bubble. But yeah, nice to have the first appearance of Erica Slaughter in the Jay Lee variant. Yeah,
nice.
Right.
I will admit that while I was at San Francisco Fan Expo just after Thanksgiving,
yep.
I did find myself at many boxes coming across Something Is Killing the Children issue 1s. I was often going and taking a look at what printings they were, and for some reason now it was in my mind like, oh, maybe you should get a cup. I don't read the book. I have no desire, and I'm like, why am I looking at this? I really don't know, and I know nothing about these subsequent printings because there was obviously no first printings available there. But you know, it was like a lot of 8th printings, but there was a couple like 2nd and 3rd printings there too.
Yeah.
But anyways. All right. Speaking of going to those cons and such, a book I picked up at the San Jose Toy Show, Toy and Comic Show back in October, I think it was, of this year. Visited a vendor that I have become good friends with, Butler's Comics, and he had this Strange Worlds issue number 1 that I was able to bundle this with actually that Batman Beyond together to get a nice bundle deal. This is an Atlas Comics book, and the creative team on this is Stan Lee, Steve Ditko, Bob Powell, Don Heck, Jack Kirby, and Christopher Rule.
Rob, that's a who's who of the Marvel Hall of Fame. First class. Rob, what was the year of this release? Was this like 63?
1958.
Oh my.
It's a flying saucer cover and story. Is the
Awesome.
denotation of the key. Of course, it's also a number 1 book. Not that these series were long, strong series or whatever, but Atlas Comics, that team, and it's UFOs, it's atomic age goodness. I'm all in, baby.
Yeah, that's a fun cover. Rob, what's actually on the back cover? Is it a Baby Ruth?
No,
Charles Atlas.
Don't be a scrawny man. You can be a He-Man. So yeah, the secret of flying saucers. Flying saucers, of course, are one of those special type. There's people collect flying saucer covers, robot covers, whatever. But that's one of those ones that they call out is flying saucers.
Gotcha. Yeah, great book. I know your infinity for Bubble
Number 8.
And
Number
UFO.
8 now for you, huh? Yeah, we've done it.
Yes,
10,
number
10,
8.
9, 8.
Yep, number 8.
I can count. Look at me.
Yeah. This particular book is one that I highlighted in my 2025 collecting goals, a video that I dropped way back in January. This was a book that I owned a few years ago and actually got it signed by Neil Adams, and then moved on from the book to actually help subsidize a cigar trip down into the United States. Because Rob, you know how much I love traveling in the States.
And cigars.
And cigars, yes. I often wondered about the book. Like, I really feel like I need to get it back as someone that thoroughly loves the Beatles. And I'm happy to say I picked this up at Heroes Con when you and I crossed paths again earlier this year. This is Batman 222, famous for being the Beatles' takeoff. Playing up on, is Paul dead or not? And happy to have this fun knockoff singular story book from DC Comics in a 6.5, which is actually an upgrade on the one that I had originally, which I believe was a 5.5. I picked this up first day that I was in Charlotte, as you know, Rob, and just because I was so happy to get my hands on it, and got a great deal on it. And for those that are curious, it is in fact a Neil Adams cover, but it's Dick Giordano and Irv Novick that do the interior artwork, with Mike Friedrich and Frank Robbins handling the stories within. Again, this is a comic book that pokes fun at the whole idea that the original Paul McCartney passed away, and that he was replaced by the Paul McCartney that we still have today, that performs and is, one of two representatives.
He's an android. Wait, oh.
But if you've ever read this story, it's a whole lot of fun. They poke fun at the Beatles. They kind of change each Beatles name. Paul is Saul and so forth. But happen to have this back in my PC, and I won't be moving on from this book, only to get a chance to upgrade that grade, like what Rob likes to do now and then. But yeah, Batman 222, my number 8 spot.
All right. My number 8 spot, I suppose, eh? This goes to Heroes Con as well for this book.
Yep.
This is a book. I'm going to tell this story because it's going to tie in later on to another book as well. But I've become very good at walking down aisles and spotting books out of the corner of my eye and recognizing them as books that interest me, especially atomic age books. And that was the case with this book. I was just walking down the aisle, and out of the corner of my eye, I caught a glimpse of the colors on this cover. And I stopped in my tracks. It literally took 2 steps back and turned and looked and walked up to the counter and asked if I could see this book. And it was at the bottom of their rack. It wasn't fully exposed. It was partially covered by other books. And he pulls it out, and there's this beautiful one staple Buck Rogers book sitting there. And he only was asking like $100 and something for it.
Oh my.
Exactly. And I was like, yeah, it's coming home with Papa. So this thing got a clean and press. It's a 5.5 white pages. This book was immaculate when I pulled it out. I mean, there's issues on the spine. It's a one staple book.
Yeah.
It happens. But the book was double bagged and boarded. And I mean, as soon as I opened it up, the pages, I mean, I knew instantly this was going to be a white pager book. Just incredible, awesome colors. And yeah, and you know my love for Buck Rogers and Flash Gordon.
It's so bright. It almost looks like it was released today, other than the 5.5.
Yeah, aside from the cover wear there, yeah. But
and you can't really see it from my vantage point. You can't see it that much. Rob, what's that? What's the year release for this book?
This book is 1951. So this is Toby Press. So at this point, this is not original stuff. So this is reprinting the collected daily strips.
Yep.
Which is what they were quite frequently. Actually, a lot of the Buck Rogers that got done was actually, until much later on, was printed daily strips together. Whereas Flash Gordon by this time was telling original stories in comics. Of course, which came first? Buck Rogers. He's the original. Flash Gordon's the copycat. So there we
Very
go.
true. It's so bright. So bright.
Right.
Love it.
Incredible stuff there. All right.
Okay. Okay. So at Heroes Con, I actually had a bunch of books that were in my PC. I had graded, and one of those was Ultimate Fallout 4. I had actually owned Ultimate Fallout 4 for a couple of years. So unfortunately, my first appearance, Miles Morales, didn't qualify for this show, or it would be making an appearance. However, I do have this copy of the first appearance.
Ow! And boom goes the dynamite.
This copy of Miles Morales that does qualify, since this was an antique market pickup in a raw form. There was actually 3 copies like this, and I went with the one that presented no stress on the spine. I did have this cleaned and pressed by my presser up here, and he actually said there was a lot of surface dirt that may have jeopardized a potential 9.8. So after hearing that story, I was a little nervous, but this was a book that I had graded on site at Heroes Con. One of the primary reasons that I enjoy going to Heroes Con is the ability to do so. As a Canadian, I save a lot of money that way. But a 9.8 second printing variant of Miles Morales' first appearance of Ultimate Fallout 4. And up here it simply says, the first appearance of the new Spider-Man, Miles Morales.
You might save some money, but man, you cook up some stress as you sit there fretting over those emails. Is it going to be done? Is it going to be done?
That's what happens when you leave Sunday morning as opposed to Sunday evening, or they have a full extra work shift of
Don't put
opportunity.
that just yet. Obviously, we've talked about this on our show quite frequently here about the fact that Miles Morales is without a doubt it is a modern day Grail-ish book. I mean, it's not like it's hard to get, but by any stretch of imagination, but it is a really important book that any collector that collects modern books at all should probably have a copy of this in their collection, just because he really was the first of this new age of Marvel heroes to make it, and is, I mean, it's not an original idea. It's still somebody else getting the same mantle or creation that a different character had. But at the end of the day, they've gone such now, and where he really is his, sometimes very much his own. I mean, aside from having the fact that he spins some webs and stuff, but he's got some different power sets too. If not more impressive and enhanced power set over Peter.
It's true, and they haven't aged him up. He's still young. He's still a high schooler. He still has those problems that modern day young people have, and with his mom, his dad, the whole 9 yards, and his younger sister as well. He is the Spider-Man to a new younger generation. That's, like how I find Peter Parker identifiable. There is that new generation that's growing up with him in comic books and in 2 majorly successful animated films, one of which won an Oscar. And so Miles is now becoming a household name, whether people like it or not. He's here to stay. And like I often say to you, Rob, is Miles often has the best stories when it comes to a Spider-Man in comic books outside right now Ultimate Spider-Man. That's why I showed Empire of the Spider off the top of this show, that Miles has some excellent stories going on in his world.
Now, here's the first hot take. I want people to leave a comment down below on this. Is let us know, is that second printing, is it still the first appearance?
It says so right here.
Oh, because CGC is never wrong. What do you think? Is a second printing still a first appearance? Let us know down below. That's a great debate that I don't even know that I have a strong opinion on, but I'd love to hear from you guys. Let us know. Now, let's go into my seventh book. Yes, 10, 9, 8, 7. Seventh book. It's hard. I see 3. I want to think that means, I don't know. Anyways, so here's, as I was saying with the Buck Rogers thing, I was telling that exact story. While I was at San Francisco Fan Expo. I was talking to a comic book vendor, and we had a shared appreciation of science fiction comics. We were talking about some books, and I was talking about this. I was actually sharing this story of just seeing this book out of the corner of my eye, blah blah blah. And he was laughing, thought it was great. And I said, "Yeah." And here you are, stuck in your booth, while across the aisle from you, the other comic book vendor has a Planet Comics sitting on his rack, staring at you. And he goes, "He does?" I said, "Yeah, I saw it out of the corner of my eye." And sure enough, he looks over there. Yeah, there's this Planet Comics sitting there on the rack. So once I got done talking to him, I across the aisle to go take a look at this Planet Comics book. And it was a nice book. I might have been interested in it, but I took it down off the rack, and there was another book behind it. And it was a book that I've had on my hunt list for a while now, and the price on it was very fair, and he gave me an even better price. And then on top of that, it's in far better condition than most of the copies I've seen, because a lot of the copies I've seen of this book, they are just beat dogs. And that is Showcase number 30, the first solo Aquaman, before he gets his initial title here, and the origin of Aquaman in a 4.0 with white pages. Now there are a couple cover issues in here, but I'm looking at this book, and I think that with a press and a clean, it can hit a 4.550 maybe. Because it's not going to go much above that, because there is a subscription crease that runs in it that I don't think is going to be completely out. And there's some other color breaking issues, but I still think that there's enough. There's some really good.
The back looks good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Want to get a mobile tank? Split it with you. We go halvesies.
I'm in. I was looking at the wrist radio, but you've sold me on the tank.
If we go halvesies on the tank, we can each get our own wrist radio. Then we can talk. Well,
yeah.
Aquaman is like Submariner. He's not a huge character for whatever reason. Doesn't get the love that probably he should. But as you look at the keys for DC, especially without going into the Golden Age. Yes, Aquaman's first appearance is going to be in the Golden Age. But his first time he gets his own book, this is the tryout for that first book before Aquaman 1, this Showcase 30. And it gets that subject of Aquaman, first Aquaman tryout issue, origin of Aquaman.
That is fantastic. And there's actually some love for Aquaman between Rob and I. When Nick Hardy handled Aquaman, once his solo title was up and running, that's some of the best comic book covers to come out of DC in that time frame. Nick Hardy did such a wonderful job with Aquaman, especially when Black Manta was introduced as well. That's a great book, Rob. Good for you.
Now this one is Howard Purcell and Sheldon Moldorf cover.
Okay.
But definitely, I may have to have this one cracked and cleaned, just because I really do think that there's a chance of getting a bump on it. But the dealer was not we looked at it. He was just barely over FMV, we talked about price, and he just dropped it. We talked. I said, "Here's what it's selling at 90-day average." He goes, "Great. So how about would be happy if I give you this price?" And he dropped it $100 below FMV, and I was like, "Oh, coming home."
Very nice. Okay. I guess this is
Number 6.
number 6. Okay. So, another guest, I should say multiple time guest from OnlySlabs, is the letterer of Something is Killing the Children. That is Justin Birch. So
It's just on last week.
that's true. Justin, before Heroes Con, was selling a few books privately that he had upgraded earlier this year.
Mhm.
So I reached out saying for this particular book, hey, how much? And he came back with such a ridiculous number that I couldn't even haggle. And I said, okay, as long as you're kosher with the deal happening in Charlotte, because Justin was coming to Heroes Con. He said, yep. And then short while before, we both reminded each other, like, hey, I'm bringing the book. And I'm like, yep, I'm bringing the American money. Don't worry, we're good. And during Heroes Con, him and I met privately, and we, finished off a deal with a handshake. Yeah, we did our thing. And I got to admit, I was a little surprised by a book that you felt was an honorable mention, because this book to me is very, very special.
It was tough to make that book an honorable mention on my list here, I'll tell you. But yeah,
So, to me, if you were to revamp and modernize the Sinister Six, Morbius is one of those characters you need to consider, because he is one of the Midnight Suns. But this is the Amazing Spider-Man issue 101. Still 15 cents. And this was in the PC of Justin Birch. Again, multiple time guest on OnlySlabs. The community's favorite letterer. And again, he handles Something's Killing the Children. And I pick his brain all the time about Something is Killing the Children whenever I get the opportunity. But this is the first appearance of Morbius, the living vampire, Dr. Michael Morbius, Lizard appearance, and the last 15-cent issue for the Amazing Spider-Man.
Yeah, Mr. Six-Arm Spider-Man.
Yeah. That was an interesting arc. Roy Thomas was finishing up there. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that is a great book. That was tough. But like you, I am going to make my number 5 book of an Amazing Spider-Man book.
Nice.
But it's just this first appearance of Black Cat. But this is also kind of my first cheat in that I picked up 2 copies this year.
Oh, God, Peter hit me.
Yeah.
Ow!
So, my 8.0 and my 8.5 white pager first appearance of the Black Cat comes in at number 6. Of course, Felicia Hardy.
Your 8.0 might be an upgrade on my 7.5. So maybe we'll talk after the show and make a donation to C3 if things work out in my favor. Okay.
I already donated 1 copy earlier this year.
I knew you were going to say that.
But no, of course, no error variant. But still, I was really thrilled to pick up one of these this year, let alone 2 of them. And I know that at least one of them came out of a mystery box. So I was ecstatic as hell. And Felicia Hardy, part of that triangle, of Peter's harem, I suppose.
Yep.
And you can't say enough about her. Still a book that is reasonable to acquire.
For now. For now.
In this grade range, it's still only, it's not like $30, but it's only a couple $100. But it's still fabulous book there. That's those 2 books Number 6, that's my one. That's my only cheat for this top 10 list.
Yeah.
If
Well
it's
done.
really a cheat, I don't know if it counts as a cheat.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the same book, but but it's
Yeah.
not. Yeah. All right.
All right.
We got that's 1, 2. So we've shown 5 books. We got 5 books remaining. So that makes us at the halfway point. Do you concur?
I agree.
All right. Well, then, as per usual, we would do break at this time to do a giveaway, and we shall, in fact, do that. So what I've done this time is, because we're not doing this live, so put away your hashtags, folks, because it won't do any good. Is we have taken as a holiday bonus to everyone, all the channel members. We have put all the channel members onto the wheel, and all the Goon Squad members have gotten their second entry on here as well. And we're going to shuffle it a bunch of times while I'm talking, and we're going to spin the wheel to see who is our winner. And then Chris will do his normal selection to get 6 books for this lucky individual. All right. And wheel of fish. I should have put a fish in the middle of it. That would have been hilarious.
Or like Weird Al.
Yeah, weird. Eh?
Yeah, but yeah, you're right. Wheel of fish. But I thought the fish were on the. Never mind.
It doesn't matter. Looks like our winner is going to be Comics on the Edge. Robert, congratulations. You are the winner. All right. So now the question is, what did you win? And that's where we go to this part of the thing where I go grab the box.
All right. Watch your back, Rob. Watch your back.
All right.
That thing is jammed. It is jammed. All right. Let's
put books in.
Let's go 3 from the front, 3 from the back.
All right.
All right. Let's let it ride. And stop. And those 2 fingers, those 2 books, your finger splits. Yeah.
You're not drunk yet, are you?
Yeah. It's the holiday season. And stop.
Forward.
And those 2 books, your finger splits. All right.
Well, let's do one extra bonus book. What the hell?
Okay.
For a happy new year, Robert.
Stop. And the book closest to the wall.
Oh,
I didn't mean to make that difficult, but okay.
No, you'll see in a moment. It's like, okay. Wow. It's amazing to me how many of these books I just recently put in here. Other books stay in that thing forever, and some of them come out lickety split. All right. So Robert, you get your hands on Bang the Crow, Dead Time Sumerian, the Comics Curing Cancer exclusive variant there. You get a copy of that.
By Ace
Cover art.
Yeah. Great book.
And then Punisher 2099, number 1.
It would be Christmas without a 2099.
This is cool. When I was at San Francisco Fan Expo, there was a guy wearing a Punisher 2099 shirt, and we had a great conversation.
Awesome.
Ultimate Universe Year 1. This bag is scratchy, whatever, but this is the super foily version, and of course features the first appearance of the Ultimate Wolverine.
Very nice. That's a sexy cover, Rob.
We've got ourselves Superman Batman 22, the first cameo in the official DCU of Batman Beyond.
Awesome.
And of course, Robert will like it because Robert is, as we remember, a big Bizarro fan.
Yep.
Bizarro. All right. This is we've got The Defenders, issue 28, first appearance of Starhawk.
Great cover.
And then this is the before the last book. This is the bonus book that we pulled there, which is actually a bonus in its own right because it's issues 1 through 5 of Daredevil, the man without fear. So all 5 issues.
Nice.
Congratulations! That's one hell of a bonus pull.
Wow.
We're gonna go. Oh yeah, we'll give you a 7th book. Oh no, now actually, I guess we're giving you 11 books.
Wow.
And the last book in this box of this set of pulls here, we've got Doom Division #1. This is the color splash variant, limited to 500 copies, signed by Miko Soyan. This was available only to BTC Gold members. It's part of their monthly box. And so number 205 of 500.
Wow. And Miko doesn't do a lot of appearances. Yeah.
Double. You get double COAs on it for the not only what it is, but then the signature on it as well. Yeah, it's funny you say that, but I was just at San Francisco Fan Expo. I was talking with Miko, and we were talking about after I was having him sign a couple books, and we were having a conversation about Heroes. He was asked. He hasn't been there for a couple of years, and we were talking about it, and he's talking about he really wants to come back to Heroes. So,
yeah, I was actually there, and I got a Spider-Man book signed by him the last time he was at Heroes. Very nice man. Very nice man. Yep.
All right, it's time for book number 5.
Okay. We will do this, and all right. Now, Rob, you and I shouldn't say you and I often talk about the book that gets shown the most on our little show here is Amazing Spider-Man 129, the first appearance of the Jackal, and someone else. But there's another book that is easily in the top 5. And every time it shows up, I always ask that person to read the right side of the blue label because I have a great love for Beta Ray Bill. So I'm finally proud to say that I have a copy of the first appearance of Beta Ray Bill in a newsstand in a respectable 9.2. As a Walt Simonson fan, I can't believe I waited so long to get a waited so long to get a copy of this book, and I don't know why, because I love Walt Simonson's artwork and his storytelling. But yeah, Thor 337, finally, since November 1983, I finally picked it up. But yeah, the first appearance of Beta Ray Bill, and my love for Beta Ray Bill was just amped up in the last few years when Daniel Warren Johnson did a mini series for Marvel for Beta Ray Bill. And that too was just fantastic storytelling by a man that's now a superstar in the comic book world. But yeah, first appearance, Beta Ray Bill, and and like my question is now, I know that you've had this book on the Great Wall at some point.
Yes.
How many copies in your life have you been through of the first Beta Ray Bill?
I think only that I've kept and not acquired just to give away. I think 2.
Okay. But yeah,
I think I had like a 9.6 or something, and I've later got a 9.8.
Yeah. Finally.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Congratulations there. For myself, for my 5th book, I think you know how much I enjoy footwear. So I got this beautiful copy. Wait, hold on.
Oh no. Oh no. This is going to be early 60s. Okay.
Saturday morning shoe store. I mean, that was the best show on TV, right? I mean, no. They could I had a book that I acquired last year, and I was really disappointed with the results of the grading, and so I had to get a replacement. And this year at WonderCon, I found a replacement, had it cleaned, had it pressed, sent it off to get graded, and it came back. And that was this Tales of Suspense issue 52, the first appearance of Crimson Dynamo 2 and the death of Crimson Dynamo 1. Oh, and also Black Widow. Yeah.
Okay. So now, Rob, let's stop for a second, talk about how bright and beautiful this cover is, much like the Buck Rogers a couple issues ago. Rob, why in the world is this a 3.5? Because it presents so well. Is it the Marvel chipping? Okay, so we got some bad creases.
We have that's a tear.
Okay,
We have a lot of creases. We have the torn cover there.
Yeah.
And we have some, again, chipping and stuff here. The front cover actually takes the beat. From the back, this book is clean. I mean, we got a little bind there and here at the staples. But, I mean, the front is actually, unfortunately, where most of the beating happens, but it's all around the periphery. So I was perfectly
but the
fine
color
with
work.
that. Yeah, it's bright as hell. It's a white it's a white pager.
Wow. Yep.
So
now there's no sub crease to represent this was a mail away or a mail book or anything, right?
None visible.
Okay. Yeah, that's
all the creasing stuff all everywhere else. And the biggest issues are the bottom here where we have one big tear, and I believe that this other one is a small tear.
Yeah, and I just don't understand why Crimson Dynamo 2 has to interfere with Iron Man doing the Thriller dance. You know, like I just don't get it.
He's not a fan of pop music.
Yeah.
So,
okay.
Anywho, yeah. So there we go. The first appearance of Black Widow makes my number 5.
Okay. Earlier this year, the MCU released the Fantastic Four, and I enjoyed it. And
it was fun.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. Galactus made his appearance, and I decided to pick up the second appearance of Galactus, just like that. This is the Fantastic Four issue 50, the third appearance of Silver Surfer, the second appearance of Galactus, and the first appearance of Wyatt Wingfoot in this classic Jack Kirby controversial cover because of the brown background that a lot of people don't necessarily like.
And really important, Johnny Storm begins his college experience. It'll end in not so hot. Well, actually, it'll end very hot, but
it'll end hot, but not the hot you're thinking.
It only takes him about 300 issues.
But on the right side it says the Surfer battles Galactus, Johnny Storm goes to college, and the first appearance of Wyatt Wingfoot, who becomes a very important character moving forward with the Fantastic Four, especially around Reed Richards. If you've ever read any of the Fantastic Four and the John Byrne run in the 1980s. But this is the most recent pickup that I'll be showing for the top 10 list.
Floating heads, always good stuff.
Yeah, and Kirby being Kirby. The only thing missing is just a little bit of crackle. Yeah.
The thing I love about this is, you both of us, we've talked about Fantastic Four. We both recognize greatness and appreciate it. Fantastic Four stuff. While my youngest was home recently, we were talking about comics, and or because we went to the San Francisco Fan Expo together.
Right.
They like to go to cons, and I always used to think that their affinity for going to cons was tied to anime because they read manga and that stuff, and then somewhat horror stuff because they played some horror stuff. But apparently, again, lots of different gateways into comics. Fortnite has brought them their favorite character, the Thing. They are a huge Thing fan now because of Fortnite and stuff.
So Ben is in Fortnite. Okay.
apparently so. And they're learning stuff like because all their friends were saying like, you know what time it is, and
It's clobbering time.
she's like, oh, I don't know. It's
So she's
They're
not a
learning.
CM Punk fan either then.
yeah, no. So we're having to sit there and talk about maybe getting some of those thing 2-in-1s where they're just some
Yep.
nice one-off stories and can read all that stuff. But anyways, all right, time for my number 4 book. Yes, number 4. This I not even looking for this book. Again, SF Fan Expo turned out to be a phenomenal freaking show compared to years past. I got so many cool books there. This is one that I was walking by Harley Yee's booth and had just glancing just to see what he's got because I'm not expecting much. And I saw this book at the very top, kind of the way his wall structure is. He has like always got this center wall, and then he's got these 2 that are slightly set back.
Yes.
Right. And there's a spot where sometimes the books kind of get lost in that crack.
Yeah, the tributary walls. Yes.
Yeah. And so that very top corner kind of stuck up behind the other one. I see this book and I go, and the price was bold enough that I could read it easily. And I was like, I've been looking for that book, and it's on my list of, as you know, I maintain a list of these are books I'd like to get. And I always stay flexible. I like to go, here's the price range in a grade I'm looking for. Well, I was looking for this book in a lower grade at a higher price than what he had. So when I saw a bigger book at a lower price, I immediately pull up my phone. I'm checking. All right, he's asking market price for this book. The market had changed some from where I was at.
Harley Yee was asking market price.
Well, and apparently he does on books that are like this. This is not a book that's
Okay.
like ultra rare.
Oh,
and
okay.
super hard,
Okay.
but it is still a big, important book. And so I was glad to, even though it's not my main wheelhouse, still wanting to be as a key hunter, wanting to grab it. It was important that I should pick up Conan Barbarian number 1. It's raining men.
I had
Hallelujah.
no idea you picked this up. Now, Rob, the reason why I say that, everyone, is because Rob and I have had this book on OnlySlabs a number of times. There are a lot of Conan the Barbarian fans out there. And every time the book comes on, Rob and I show a lot of love and respect for this book. And we often always end up saying the same thing. I need to get Conan number 1. But I had no idea you actually pulled the trigger and got it. Rob, I got to ask you for the first time today, would you mind reading us the right side of the blue label?
Absolutely. The origin and first appearance of Conan, first appearance of King Kull in cameo. So
Awesome.
There we are. So that would make sense. I have this because I already had the first appearance of Crom. So now to have Conan only makes sense.
Yes. Wow. Good
Yeah.
for you. That is a great, great comic book. Yeah. Iconic.
And I was super
Iconic.
pumped. I was originally hoping to get something like a 7.75, and so
Okay.
when I saw he had an 8, and I was like, and the price, I was like, okay, let's do.
Nice.
I didn't even try. I didn't even try to ask for
You just
anything.
paid him what he was asking.
I said, "May I please see it?" Made him climb up on a chair.
So Harley himself?
Harley himself climb
Nice.
up on a chair. Well, I'm sure it was an OSHA approved chair. To reach up and grab the book from the top rack level and bring it down and hand it to me. And I said, okay, thanks. And I handed it back to him. And as he started to turn around and go, so I said, I'll go ahead and take it. So
Nice.
yeah, I played with him a little bit. But yeah, no, this is it's great. And it's really weird is that there's this coloring here on this stone that every time I glance at it, I keep thinking like there's waves in it. And I'm like, oh, I could press those out. Then I realize, oh wait, no, that's just the coloring.
That's a book that deserves to be on the wall when it's time.
Yeah, I think one of the kung fu guys might have to come down and be replaced. Yeah.
I got bad news for Shang-Chi. Okay. All right. So we're getting down to the
Number
final
3.
three. The big 3. as sometimes we like to joke.
This is where
book,
the money makers are.
this book, much like what Rob just showed, this introduction of the character is at this point now in 2025 a household name. A household name. He is the star of Guardians of the Galaxy. Whenever he shows up in an Avengers film, he steals the damn show. He is better known as Rocket Raccoon. This is the Incredible Hulk 271, better known as the 20th anniversary issue, featuring the first comic book appearance of Rocket. And for those that don't know, Rocket actually showed up in a magazine-sized Marvel Treasury Edition style oversized comic book. This is his first appearance in a normal-sized comic book. It's also the Rocket Raccoon, or the genesis of the Rocket Raccoon that we know and love today, that's voiced by Bradley Cooper in the MCU. But yeah, he actually showed up in a bubble helmet back in 1982. So happy to have this. This was a later 2025 pickup for me. I was actually at a toys and collectibles show, much like how you mentioned you were earlier this year.
Mm-hmm.
I hammered out a deal on 2 books. This is one of them. Again, the dealer was just looking to clear out. So I don't know if the dealer was just moving on from comic books, but basically it was below FMV plus 30% off. And if I packaged it up, a little bit more. So I was happy to have this and another book, but 7.5 Al Milgram cover, The Incredible Hulk, 271. More importantly, the first appearance in a comic book of Rocket Raccoon.
Definitely a popular character.
Yeah.
And yeah. Definitely. The movies definitely have brought him into limelight, no doubt about that.
Yeah, that book, it's a dollar bin book if it wasn't for the MCU, right? Let's be honest. Rocket had a limited series in the 80s, and that's about it. That's about it. And so talking raccoon and a walking tree changed everything.
It's amazing what you can do with the right too.
It's amazing what you can do.
For my number 3 book, not a key. As far as as far as first appearances go, not an origin of, none of that crazy stuff. But it is an iconic comic book cover that gets so much love. It caused me to go, okay, I guess I'll buy it, because I recognize the characters, but I'm not huge fans of the characters involved on this cover.
Oh,
no. But nonetheless.
Oh, man.
4. Yeah, this is my best ever. Yeah. So people dig this one.
I almost think the word iconic isn't strong enough for this cover. It is, to me, this cover really came to life during the COVID bubble. This book was always on the top 10 list. Everyone that finally had a little bit of money went out and got this insanely classic Silver Surfer cover. And it just went up and up and up.
Yeah, so it is. It's a classic cover. Absolutely. I think that's the whole, Thor Loki appearance, Hulk a thing, Hercules cameo, Tales of the Watcher backup story. That's what's written for the key information on this book. Nothing out of the ordinary. It's just a cover. But covers make comics. They sell comics. As a guy who appreciates art and buys a good portion of my comic collection is purchased for the art element of it, I appreciate it nonetheless. It's been on my it was one of those books that was on my list this year as I came into the year, and I was at the Berkeley Comic Show and happened to see this book at a reasonable price, was able to negotiate it down some more, and pulled the trigger on picking up in a 6.0 white pager, Silver Surfer number 4.
Awesome. To me, that's one of those one-day books. One day I'll have that. One day. Good for you. All right.
It's getting hot in here now.
That's
Please don't take off all your clothes, though.
Yeah. No. All right. You and I often say low grade is better than no grade,
Absolutely.
especially when it comes to big time keys.
Mhm.
And especially when it comes to keys that represent rogue gallery first appearances. And when you talk about the Amazing Spider-Man and his rogue gallery, the other one that comes to mind is the Dark Knight himself, Batman. Depending if you're a DC fan or a Marvel fan, you're going to lean one way or the other. But this time I had to pull a trigger on arguably the lowest, one of the lowest grades you can ever get, because I am a fan of Poison Ivy. This is the other 181 in the comic book.
God, Peter hit me!
Yeah!
Ow!
The first appearance of Poison Ivy in DC's big 181. But because go ahead.
I say I assume that this is a 0.5 because it's missing the centerfold on it.
So it says centerfold missing.
Yeah, so that's why it's a 0.5. Because
So,
otherwise it's like a 2.0.
I don't know because
2.5.
there's tears missing out of both sides away from the spine. Up near the checkerboard, there's a good portion missing near the Comics Code Authority stamp, and then probably a full inch long rip out of the bottom cover as well. So I'll spotlight the missing piece right there.
Okay, so
And
maybe
then-
it's a 1.520 otherwise, but I mean,
So yeah,
but
and,
unfortunately,
there
still
is a water stain back here.
Oh yeah,
So
but hey,
I feel this is a proper grade, or it would have easily been an NG.
well, it's a 0.5 because of missing centerfold. Once you're missing the
Yep.
centerfold, it's automatically a 0.5 unless
Right.
you green label it. And in this case, it makes no sense
Right.
to green label it. This is a phenomenal presenting book for where it's at. It's better than the 0.5 that I have, that's for sure. It's got more of it.
Yeah, and some of my all-time favorite covers are Poison Ivy covers, especially from the current volume that is still being put out by DC today. Josh Middleton is one of those artists that come to mind that's produced some of the greatest Poison Ivy covers. But the first appearance of Poison Ivy, pin up by Infantino and Anderson, that's why it's missing. But someone also decided to take a little bit of a blue ballpoint pen and dot in the eyes of both Batman and Robin.
So they can see her better.
So yeah, this book has a few strikes, but still, the first appearance of Poison Ivy, I'm so happy to have it. Rob, as you know, you and I talked about me picking up this book much earlier this year. This was an eBay find for me, and just lowballed the hell out of the offer to the seller, pardon me, and they said yes. I was like, oh, all right. Well, sometimes funny bids get funny returns, and this is one of those times where I know that you've been sitting on her first appearance for a little while now. It's been on your wall, and it's one of these books that often show up on our show, and I'm like, I really would like the first appearance of Ivy because I really like what they've done with Ivy in her comic book and the Harley Quinn animated series. That her and Harley basically steal the show every time they're on the screen together. So I'm happy to finally have the first appearance of Poison Ivy, one of the premier rogue gallery villains in the Batman world.
Nice, excellent book. And actually, it's never been on my wall
No?
because all I've had was that 0.5, which is missing all kinds of stuff out of it, everything else. That was until this year when I managed to get this book at Heroes Con. Picked it
Yours
up
is so bright. it's so much brighter.
Yeah, when we were at Heroes Con, the vendor who was right across the walkway from us, this
Right.
was up on his rack, and
Yes.
I kept looking at it, and I went over and I was talking to him, and we both were sitting there having this conversation. This book is the subject of one of my biggest videos of the year, because CGC jacked up my submission fees, because when both myself and the vendor looked at the book, we both said, it's like a 4.0. And I was happy with that. That was an upgrade from what I had. And he sold it to me based on it being like a 4.0. And then he knocked some money off because he was the vendor who the year before had, well, I can't quite reach it, but it sold me that Tales of Suspense. That's a Frankenstein. That's
Yes.
also. And I was telling him that story about how I got it, and it turned out to be this thing, and he felt bad about it. And so he gave me a deal on this book. I paid less than $300 for this book. And so I sent it in to see, I sent it first to the comic chiropractor to work some magic on it. And then he sent it into CGC. And when it came back, before it came back, I got the email notice saying they raised it to the high value tier. And I was like, oh, what? And then it came back a 6.0. And I said, oh, okay.
A happy accident.
That's right. So now this is my second copy of this book. I still have my 0.5, but yeah, happy to have this book now in a higher grade now into PC. And for such a great deal.
Yeah, I can remember when you picked that up. You and I had a conversation later that day, and I can remember you pulling it off or asking to see it, and then that's kind of when I walked away and went and spent some time in the lineup for Jenny Frison, and then you ended up picking up Poison Ivy. Someone who actually does a great Poison Ivy is Jenny Frison, but yeah, great minds think alike that we both slotted at number two,
which brings us to the number one spot, the most important book to you, or biggest book, or whatever your criteria is for this 2025 comic book pickup year. Chris, as you like to say, it's not a competition. What did you bring to beat me with?
I got a precursor this just with a little story.
Please
so
do.
Rob likes to stack the greatest weekly giveaway box on YouTube, as everyone that's watching knows. And it often pisses me off, some of the stuff that he gives away, because he knows that I'm a fan of certain things. And yeah.
We're showing.
Yeah. And he often gives away books where I'm like, you know that I'm a fan of that series or that character. Why are you giving it away? Put it aside, send me something, or send it to me. I will pay for your shipping. If you're giving it away, give it to me. I love Jungle Action. I'm working on that set. Black Panther is wonderful in that series, and I love everything about T'Challa. I love the fact that Marvel has made him one of the most intelligent characters in the MCU. Debatable, some people can say that, but he is one of the greatest minds in Marvel Comics. He was beautifully portrayed by Chadwick Boseman in the MCU, and his first appearance in the Fantastic Four has often shown up on OnlySlabs, and I always say, I don't know how I don't have the first appearance of one of my favorite characters, T'Challa, the Black Panther, the King of Wakanda. This year at Heroes Con, I made it my number one mission to walk around that con. And it is a big con if you've never been to Heroes, trying to find the best deal on a mid-grade T'Challa. There's a couple deals that I almost shook hands on, but the dealer was north of FMV, and I wasn't about to have it because, Rob, as you know, you and I spoke about the first appearance of T'Challa and that it was cooling off. And you literally said to me, Chris, now is the time to pull the trigger. So I pulled the trigger.
Slow down!
I pulled the damn trigger. I finally have it in a 4, the Fantastic Four, issue number 52, the first appearance of T'Challa, the Black Panther. And I actually think there is some room to grow on this book if I were to crack it, clean it, and press it. But that's probably not going to happen because of what happened to Rob with Ivy. I don't know if I can afford to have happened to me with currency conversion due to T'Challa. But this is a Stanley story, Jack Kirby and Joe Sinnott cover and art. The first appearance of the Black Panther, T'Challa, and it also has an Inhumans appearance. This classic cover with the Black Panther in a cape, which he actually drops a little bit later on in later appearances, especially when he becomes a member of the Avengers. But yeah.
Stupendous book. We should probably give one of those away one time.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know why I had to ruin my moment here.
We did that, didn't we?
Yes, along with Black Cat and Black Lightning. But for those that don't know,
And Black Widow.
And Black Widow, that we had a wonderful, wonderful giveaway that Rob singularly put together for our Comics Curing Cancer
really
edition.
giveaway, I suppose. It was really more of it was a charity raffle.
But I'm saying
For
you
Comics
put it together
Curing.
singularly with your own hard-earned money for Comics Curing Cancer, our very special edition of OnlySlabs, where we raised a lot of money towards this year's goal, which we ended up reaching.
Yeah, shout out to everybody who participated in Comics Curing Cancer. You guys are the true heroes. That total, wrapping up that weekend at over $65,000 was insane.
Incredible.
We're wrapping up the year now, and so we'll end up seeing where the number ends up being, because there's still time for you to make those last minute donations, get them in for tax purposes for next year for you Americans. There's also still time to go get the shirts, to get the exclusives, and also we will have all the money that this channel raises goes to support the Comics Curing Cancer event. And so it covers all those expenses that we incur related specifically to Comics Curing Cancer, not these giveaways that we do during the course of the year, but just the auctions. And anything that's left over, that ends up being donated to the charity as a lump sum. It's essentially the same thing. It just prevents us from having to submit all of our billing to Comics Curing Cancer or to the American Cancer Society and have them take money out of the pool to give to us. This way we don't have to deal with that stuff. Anyways, my number one. Yeah, so Heroes Con comes up a lot in our conversations because Heroes Con is, without a doubt, an incredible convention. One of the last true comic book conventions. One of the only places you're going to go to, there's something close to 100 comic book vendors all there. Any book you want, probably it's there if you look hard enough. And it's one of those few that you can shop big books across multiple vendors. Like if I go to a normal Fan Expo convention and I'm going to look for a particular big book, maybe one, maybe two guys have it, but the chances of having multiple vendors have it in the same grade is hard and difficult. Heroes Con is different, and that's where I usually pick which book am I going to target. Last year we did Braving the Bold. Year before that it was Avengers, and so this year I went in there with one mission in goal, and that was I had finally gotten broken down enough by people that I wanted to pick up a Hulk 181, and I wanted to look for it in a mid-grade price. And so I was able to find 3 different vendors at a 5.5 and shop them against one another to get the deal that I wanted.
Yeah, freeze frame. Yeah. Oh yeah.
I'm glad that you had a Canadian as your number one.
Yeah.
All right.
Absolutely.
So that there's no argument, would you mind reading us what's on the right side of the blue label, please?
Absolutely. Happy
Word
to.
for word.
First cover appearance of Wolverine and first full appearance of Wolverine, James Logan Howlett, and a Wendigo appearance.
Yeah. Good for you. Welcome to the club.
Yeah.
And look at that. We had
Canadian
181.
superhero.
We had 3 181s on this show today.
Yeah, my number 1 and number 2 are both 181s.
Yeah.
Craziness.
That's
So there you
awesome.
go. That's a top 10 list for this year. Yeah.
This is probably the best one that we've done pound for pound. All bangers.
Sound off down below. Let us know what were your favorites. You can even sit there and let us know who won. It's not a competition, Chris says, but yeah, that doesn't stop you from leaving such a comment of that ilk down below. We'll return next week with live shows in the brand new calendar year, and our guest. Oh my God. It's just on the tip of my tongue. Absolutely awful. Oh, it's Chonko. January 3rd. Chonko Comics. Before we head on out, though, do want to make sure we acknowledge all those Goon Squad members who've been riding with us here throughout. Most of these guys have been here since day one of the membership. Big shout out Dale Spence, DJ Links, Dr. Von Hoot, Legion of Comics, Stephen C., Justin Birch Letters, The Comic Vet, Austin LeMay, Mad Spidey, Collecting Durs, Chuck Hensey, Lone Eagle, Comiverse, Dead Man Comic Cover Show, Anachronic Comics, Colossus Collector, Team Ohana, still only 35 cents, Cliff on Comics, Bearded Comic Bro, Never Could Figure It Out, Daymares, Venturous Joe, Valenrook, Jay Knows the Way, Ronnie Johnson, Comics on the Edge, Omnibo, TM Nerdy, Silver Eagles, Sal's Comic Corner, Kingdom of Nerds, and Johnny's Comic Stuff. Thank you guys so much for writing with us throughout the year and such. So, Chris, any last words as we go into this new year, or any one book maybe that you want to say, you want to reveal is maybe on your list for next year?
I'm giving serious thought to finally upgrading my ASM 1 through 50 set. So
All of them? That's going to be an expensive year.
Not all of them, but I do have some very low grade copies that I'm starting to see around southwestern Ontario and the greater Toronto area is a little bit more affordable than I thought they were going to be. So we will see. There is a nice ASM number 10 that I saw recently that was pretty affordable considering the grade it was at.
10.
Yeah, so 2026 may have that. But with that being said, I am still going to be working on all 6 copies of the Death of Craven series in a 9.8 direct set. I do have the first one, and little did I know how expensive those books actually were. So I'm hoping to continue to knock off some of those copies. And there's some wisdom that you gave to me earlier this year. You just simply said, if you stick to a list, you're kind of giving up on other books that might be a good deal. And when I kind of let go of the list, that's how I ended up with that Fantastic Four Silver Surfer cover there, number 50, because that one just simply fell into my lap. What about you, Rob?
Yeah, well, in keeping with my usual business of not keeping a list specific of I'm going to get these 3 books this year. Instead, I keep a running list of many books that I'd like to acquire eventually. And I would probably say if I had to pick 1 or 2 books off that list that I'd like to acquire, and I've been wanting for a while, a Mr. Miracle number 1 has been on my list for quite some time, and around a 90, 92 copy I'd like to acquire. I also, I'd like to upgrade my ASM 5, but Doom is going to make it difficult to upgrade that for a little bit probably. So I don't know, maybe either a Hawkman 4 or Captain Britain #1.
Oh,
Those would be okay adds to my list, I think.
and the one other book I think I'm gonna strongly attempt to get is, I believe, Captain America 100 when he returns to having a monthly series. I have had that book before and moved on from it, so I think it needs to find its way back home.
I agree. That's a great book.
Yeah.
All right, guys, leave another comment down below. Tell us what book is on your list for 2026. And happy hunting to you all. Happy holidays. Hope you got what you want. And if you didn't get what you want, well, that just gives you an excuse to go out and get it. Remember, until next time, collect what you want. Don't listen to either of us, especially me. I'm just a fat man with a fat stack of comics and a fat opinion. Ho, ho, ho!